Hey everyone, what is going on? And welcome back to another meta guide. So we are in the Fantasy Cup today, Great League edition. So this is the Fantasy Cup for the Great League. It does begin tomorrow. Now, I don't remember if anything was banned during the original Fantasy Cup, but I know nothing is banned during this one. So you could use it as long as it has a dragon, fairy, a steel type included in its typing, then it is going to be eligible. And yeah, so it's interesting. I actually hit Legend in the original Fantasy Cup for the Great League. There was one for the Ultra League before the Great League, but for the Great League, whenever it was a few seasons ago, whenever it was, I did hit Legend in this meta. So I actually like it. I'm gonna be honest. I actually like it. It is gonna run for a week, so not 2 weeks. I do feel like the limited metas should be only a week, but a lot of them are 2 weeks, whereas the open metas are like 1 week long. Again, I feel like it should be reversed like it used to be. I feel like the open leagues should be 2 weeks, and then the limited meta should be 1 week each. That's how I preferred it. But either way, this meta is only for 1 week. But as I said, I did enjoy it. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. So again, Dragon, Steel, Fairy types are going to be eligible. And let's go ahead and see what we got going on for us. So for the S rank, Azumel is going to be huge in this meta for sure. There's quite a few dragon types, right? We have fire types as well. We have other water types, which obviously Azumel is resisting water attacks. I mean, this Pokemon is just really, really good in this meta, and I actually hit Legend. I'll talk about the Legend team I used in the solid team options, but Azumel was on that team. And then we have Registeel, another really powerful one. I think it's going to be a great save swap, because even if they respond with something that does beat it, like Excadrill, like Golion Stunfisk, Registeel can still pick up a shield with that Focus Blast attack, right? Even if they respond with a Lucario, for example, you can still get a shield. So I think Registeel is going to be a fantastic save swap in this meta. Then we have Tapu Fini, so there are actually quite a few differences compared to the original Fantasy Cup Great League Edition, and Fini with Nature's Madness is one of them. It didn't have Nature's Madness back then, it does now, so it's that much better. Nature's Madness is such a good move. Glorian Stunfisk, this is a Pokemon we don't see too often nowadays, but in limited metas, it could shine compared to like the Open Great League. Both of its charge attacks were nerfed at one point, Rock Slide and Earthquake, but still going to be pretty strong in this meta, which is cool to see. This is actually a Pokemon I miss using. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I actually really like this. I really liked Nidoqueen. I'm getting off topic, but Nidoqueen to me was a lot of fun before it was nerfed, even though it had to be nerfed because it was way too good. But Golion Stunfisk is fantastic. Then we have Empoleon, another new addition. Yes, Empoleon did exist before, but now it has Steel Wing. It didn't before, so kind of a little bit different compared to the Waterfall variant, right? And then we have Excadrill. So Excadrill going to be pretty interesting in this meta. It gets to moves ultra fast. It literally cannot take a hit. Literally, it cannot take a single hit. That's how frail it is. But it does get to the Rock Slide fast. It does get to the Drill Run fast. It also has Scorching Sands, but in Go Battle League, generally you want Drill Run because this thing hits like a truck to begin with. So it takes one mud shot faster to get to the Drill Run compared to the Scorching Sands. And then we have Flygon or Shadow Flygon. I love the Shadow version because Flygon has little defense to begin with. So, I mean, you're taking away the defense for the attack with the Shadow version. So, to be honest, I just use the Shadow one if you happen to have it. If you don't have it, then you have to use what you have to use. But this is a great Pokemon with the Mud Shot, Scorching Sands, Dragon Claw. Super powerful Pokemon. Love using it. And it's really nice, like in some of these limited metas, to see some of these Pokemon that you never see before, right? For example, Flygon. You never see this in the Open Great League or Ultra League, but you can see it in some limited metas where it really shines, like the Fantasy Cup. And then moving on to the A rank, we do have Galarian Weezing. So Galarian Weezing, going to be a pretty good pick for this meta. Lucario does have a new toy to play with. It does have Thunder Punch, which PvPoke actually recommends. It's interesting. I don't know. Like, I feel like I really like Power Punch just to boost up the counter damage, but Thunder Punch does give you some really good coverage against Azumel and Tapu Fini. Even in Empoleon you're still doing super effective damage to it anyway. But yeah, it will give you some nice coverage, so I could totally understand why you would go Thunder Punch Shadow Ball on the Lucario for sure. Giratina was another Pokemon that was not around originally. You can get this by trading for it. If you got the Giratina Origin from the timed research that they had given out just before the Sinnoh Tour, I believe. And if you swap it, yours can re-roll below 1500, so mine did. Took 2 trades and I got it in my second trade. Really happy with it. It's not a good one. It's 1474 CP, but I'm still happy to have it below. It doesn't really matter as long as it's below. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be another really good pick in this meta. Another really strong Dragon type. And then we have Turtonator, a really cool Pokemon to see. Another Pokemon that, yeah, as I said, is a really cool Pokemon, but you don't see it in the open leagues. But in limited metas like the Fantasy Cup, you can see it. And yeah, I mean, just a fantastic Pokemon to use. Skarmory with the Steel Wing, gonna be pretty cool in this meta as well. Moving on to the B rank, Heatran. So Heatran is an interesting one. It's the same situation as Giratina. You could get it from the timed research and then swap it with someone and hope that it rerolls below 1500. Unfortunately, I don't have one. A lot of trainers probably don't have one. You're probably not going to see this too often, but I mean, it's pretty cool with the Fire Spin Magma Storm. So it's actually a pretty cool Pokemon to use, so it does have quite a few weaknesses, but it really wants to get on the right matchup. But still, I mean, if it does, it's looking pretty cool. If I had one, I would use it just for fun, but I do not have one below 1500. I tried a few times, but wasn't able to re-roll it. And then we have Alolan Sandslash. Alolan Sandslash is a really strong pick for the Fantasy Cup. I liked it. I used it with Shadow Club. Powder Snow is an option as well, but Escavalier, another really strong counter user. So we have a couple strong counter users, Lucario and Escavalier. Remember that from the original Fantasy Cup. Haxorus, Breaking Swipe was nerfed. I don't know, was it nerfed when this was originally here or not? I don't remember, but still another Dragon type. We have Mawile, or the Shadow version of Mawile, and then we have Whimsicott. Whimsicott, it was a lot of fun to use during the original Fantasy Cup as well. For the other options, we do have Magnezone. Magnezone will do well against a good portion of the Pokemon, but there's also a lot that can beat Magnezone. I don't think this is going to be a super common Pokemon, right? But we'll see. But if you get it on the right matchup, it is going to do well, similar to that Heatran. Then we have Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn, really cool Pokemon as well. Actually going to be doing pretty well against a good portion of the meta as well. But again, like, it loses to a good portion too. But it is a pretty good one. We have Gabite. So Gabite, I wanted to try this out. I remember during the original Fantasy Cup, I never did because I think I wanted to build a Shadow one. I think at the time it had Frustration, so I wasn't able to do it. But now I don't think it has Frustration. Maybe I'll try this one out. Then we have a Alolan Doug Trio, which is pretty cool with Mud Slap. And then we have kommo-o as a Dragon type and hakamo-o. They're both on this list. Other Dragon uses Bastiodon. Bastiodon, not my favorite Pokemon in this meta. I mean, it really needs alignment. It's going to be very difficult to get because a lot of things do well against Bastiodon in this meta. I mean, look at it. Flygon, right? Excadrill, Empoleon, Galarian Stunfisk, Tapu Fini. So I feel like it's going to be difficult to run, but it is an option. And then we have Berserker. Berserker, really cool Pokemon. The Denny. I actually used the Denny as well. I remember in the original Fantasy Cup. It was pretty fun to use. And then we talked about hakamo-o. We have Magneton. If you see anyone, you'll probably see the Magnezone, Dragonite, and Wigglytuff. Yeah, so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to the solid team options. So, for the first team, this is actually the team I hit Legend with. Now, I don't know who came up with this team. I saw Tyler Bolin using it. He's an amazing streamer, so you definitely want to go ahead and check him out on Twitch. He was using this team, so that he's where I got this team from. I hit Legend with this team, but again, I don't know if he created it or he saw it from someone else. I know Mystic Sparkle, who is another streamer, was also using this team at one point. I was running Shadow Claw and Alolan Sandslash, and then on the Azumel, I think I had Ice Beam Play Rough. Or did I have the Hydro? I don't remember, to be completely honest. And then we had Turtonator. So yeah, I mean, it ended up working out really well. Obviously, the Shadow Claw was great because against the Azumel matchup, it's going to give you play. I was using the Shadow version of Sandslash, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that, but yeah, it ended up working out really well. The Sandslash, of course, wants to avoid the counter uses, right? It wants to avoid Turtonator with a passion, but it worked out well for me. The next team we have Double Dragon. So I actually climbed a lot with this team as well before I hit Legend. It was Whimsicott in the lead. You could pick out another fairy if you want to, but I liked Whimsicott a lot. Double Dragon. Shadow. I used the Shadow Flygon as a safe swap. And yeah, I mean, it worked out really well. I probably could have gotten Legend with this team, but I was finding a lot of hard counters, I've noticed, because the thing is, if there was Sandslash in the lead, it was very difficult for this team, right? So if you want to like try a different fairy instead of like a grass fairy, for example, like maybe the Azumel, then you're not actually going to be weak, ABA weak to a Alolan Sandslash. And I've noticed a lot of as I said, a lot of Alolan Sandslashes as I continue to climb with the team. In the lead, but obviously within the back, Turtonator could do fine against it, but you do not want to see it in the lead. And then next up, we have another team. We have Empoleon with the Steel Wing, Giratina, and Galarian Weezing. So, yeah, I mean, I think the Giratina makes a pretty decent safe swap, even if they, I mean, obviously if they respond with a Charm user like Wigglytuff, which is pretty much the only one, that's rough, right? But other than that, if they respond with, well, you don't want to see Whimsicott either, but still, I mean, it's not like Fairy Wind is doing a lot of damage too, so you could maybe still get off some Shadow Balls before they get off a Moonblast. If they bring in Tapu Fini, which is a Fairy type, you resist a Water Gun, so it's actually a pretty good matchup for Giratina Origin. Azumel, you still play with the Shadow Claw, Shadow Ball, right? Ominous Wind. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty great safe swap. Moving on to the other option, the other team, I should say, is going to be Tapu Fini, so a Fairy lead. Could be Azumel as well, with double counter uses. So the back line, what is it going to hate? Turtonator so much, right? And I think Turtonator will be pretty common in this meta. You do not want to see the back line does not want to see Turtonator, so that's why you need it. You need to first of all lure it out, but you also need an answer to Turtonator. So it could be the Azumel, it could be the Tapu Fini. Next up, we have another Fairy type, Azumel in the lead with double Steel Wing uses with Empoleon and Skarmory. So seems like a really strong team to use. It is ABA Water. This team is going to get destroyed by Magnezone. I just want to put that out there. Or if you happen to see Magneton. Again, I don't think those Pokemon are going to be that common. We'll see if we see Magnezone quite often. But if you don't, I think the team could work. But if you do see Magnezone, just keep in mind you will get destroyed by that Pokemon. And then we have another team. We have Flygon, or the Shadow version of Flygon, Excadrill, and Azumel. So kind of ABA ground in a sense. But the thing is, like, Flygon was a great safe swap, from what I remember. I know it's not a safe swap on this team because it's in the lead, but because even if they respond with Azumel, Shadow Flygon can actually beat Azumel, which is kind of crazy if you think about it, just because he gets to the Scorching Sand so fast. So even if you see like Azumel in the lead, you're still doing pretty well. You're still going to be able to take that matchup. You can do fine against the Fini as well. So yeah, Flygon, great safe swap, great lead Pokemon as well. But with that being said, that will be the Fantasy Cup Great League Edition. Let me know if you're going to be playing this meta. I will definitely be playing it because I did enjoy it the first time around. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye.